I'm no professional berry picker, but I wanted to show you what I do. Maybe it would help somebody. There's my bucket. I keep it on my arm, on the edge of my arm, so that I can sometimes do like that and just drop them in the bucket. I always keep me a pair of shears with me, and I'll show you why. Part of the reason. See all these berries right here that I want to get to? I can clip out these dead limbs and I won't have to fight through them as bad. But that's just a couple tips that I like to use whenever I'm out berry picking. I don't like long sleeves because I feel like I constantly get caught on something, and that's just more work than good. Just get tough skins, all I can say. And another tip I find handy is when I got these clusters, it's got several on it. If you hold on to it instead of pulling one at a time with one hand and then pull with the other hand, which I can't do and hold the camera, I'll hold it on this end and I'll pull it with my other hand. They won't jar off and fall, and you won't get stuck as bad and all that fun stuff. But then you got those berries that's way back in there, and it's the big juicy one that you want to get so bad you can't stand it. And I can't find one right off the top of my head. I've done picked a lot right here. Anyway, you reach back in there and you get in a hole to get it and suffer through all kinds of junk to get it, and then boom, it falls to the ground for some rabbit or whatever to get. It don't get much prettier than that right there, does it, guys? I'm not counting the birds. I'm getting my morning breakfast. Oftentimes, as you can see here, you'll find red clover near your blueberries or blackberries, wild blackberries. That's a good thing because of the nitrogen that it puts into the soil, which it turns around and puts back into your berries. And you'll see how rich these are right through here. There's still a ton of red in there. There's some purple there. Sorry for the sound of my buggy. I'm just kind of going down through here picking these as I go. I'm fixing to get in and get them. And you know, this whole area right here, from here all the way down there, all the way down to the end of those bushes, it's all blackberries and wild raspberries. And on the other side, on the top half, which is where I was filming earlier, there's a whole nother line about 3/4 that long. So I'm not depriving any birds of anything. They've got more than they can handle, not counting the honeysuckle and everything else in there. But I harvest more than just my blackberries when I do this. I wanted to, I'm not on the end that's got it. So you see, I don't know if you see those wild, or those, I'll stick it out in a minute, red clover in there or not. But there's a ton of red clover in there. You can't see a whole lot of this from here, but there's a lot up there. But I also get my chicory when I come down here. But you need to take your mattock with you when you get chicory root, because you need to get the root for one thing. And another thing, it is tough to get out. But it makes an excellent coffee, and I actually have a video on that if you're interested in trying to make you some chicory coffee, because it's really, really good. But there's so much out here to forage. See that? There's still honeysuckle blooming. And this is just a forger's world for me anyway. Anyway, I'll pause at that. Also, when I'm out like this, these limbs that's over too far, I cut those, which is what I'm doing. And I put them on my puddle jumper and give it to the goats. They absolutely love it. Every now and then I actually let them loose up here to thin some of it out too. So there's a lot of canes for next year right there. Stuff. You can see here I got a ton of wild lettuce, which I get it in the fall. I get the roots in the fall. This is what I usually do with that. And I've got, these are roses. These are the ones I like to get my rose hips from the most, because they got big rose hips on them. And there's some more clover. Even the white clover makes good tea and stuff. There's a lot of great benefits with red clover that's one of my favorites, that nettle. As you've heard me talk, I'm sure There's some more chicory that I'll be getting. More clover. I just wanted to show you that. There's a lot of clover in this, or chicory in here. Usually there's a lot of clover right over here. But there's also blackberries right over there too. But there's just a ton of things out here. There's even more I see coming up, but I'll wait till later this year to show you what they are because they're not in their blooming stage. But yeah, there's a ton of fleabane. Let's see if I can see some blooming. Here's some fleabane. It's got all kinds of medicinal properties as well. That's fleabane right there. There's just a ton of things, and I wish I could give you a better picture. Here's some wild St. John's wort coming up. I get a lot of that. I've got a lot of that in the back property. The back property's got a ton of other things too. But anyway, I thought I'd show you a few. Sorry, I'm scanning across this, trying to give you some ideas. Wish I could reach that fleabane better. I'll find a piece here in a second and up close. I've got one of my onion beds down here, and somebody had gave me a few beans off of a long bean. That's all they said was long bean. I've got them in there that I'm trying to use as well. But I cannot think of the name of this squash. It's a huge brownish, or not brownish, but grayish, blue, gray, green squash that gets really big. It's supposed to be better than cushaw, so I'm excited about it. Then you see all my onions. That's the cushaw too. There's some of my nettle. That's my little patch. I got a bigger patch over yonder. There's just random things coming up here. These are volunteer tomatoes. They're not really coming up very good though, but oh well. They're coming. I need to get in there and do some work. Fleabane. Oh, here we go. Sorry. There's some oxeye daisy too. That's got a lot of benefits, particularly in the allergy. That's small ones, but I've got a bunch of big ones too. Here's fleabane. This is about done its thing for the year. I think I have a spring or a early spring video. I've never uploaded because it's so hard to get anything uploaded. Where I go and I find my different things I get in the spring, but there's a lot. I usually get this in the spring because it's younger. The fleabane, I know you've seen this. Everybody, I believe, just about has it. It makes a good tea too. It's got medicinal purposes as well. And that's stupid ragweed. I don't have much use for that except for that right there. And I got them by the root. But that don't mean nothing. I got roots down in there. But, well, that's a few that I won't have to deal with, I guess. I didn't show you this lamb's quarter in here either. This is a bunch of lamb's quarters. I go in here and pick it out a lot. It's very fluent in there, but it's very edible. It's very nutritious, actually. I like to use it in salads or greens. I mix it in some greens. But it lives here because my granddaughter had a big one right here that she's pulled up. This is my water scoop. Can you tell? Works good though. For idea. I'll let it rain in those. Anyway, and she comes down here and eats it every time she's down here. But I don't let her get in the bed. I let her get whatever grows out here. That's all. I just keep throwing leaves and stuff in here in the fall. Some of it gets trapped in some of them before it decays completely. Also, when I harvest things too, I never get all of it. Just like this clover here, I'm leaving a lot of it so that it can go ahead and bloom and go to seed, so I'll continue to have some. I noticed this fetch seeds here. My granddaughter loves these. I told her that this was fetch. It's already bloomed out and done its thing, and it's just went to seed. I tell her all the time that this is turtle food, that turtles like this food. And so when she finds them, she opens them up and she spreads the seed where she thinks turtles might be so that we can have more turtles. She loves turtles. But I don't know if that's a fact or not, but she thinks it is, so she likes doing it. I can't crack it with one hand. Anyway, just thought I'd throw that in there. There it comes. Don't forget to throw out the turtle food.